Do you know when your fan is coming in, Lana?
It'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, yay.
Ooh, yay!
I'm sad we're doing it today, then.
I know.
I mean, I'm not sad because I enjoy seeing you both, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it should be here tomorrow. Thursday. It should be here by Thursday.
Oh, well, then I don't feel as bad. Welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay, I didn't think about grabbing another drink before we started. So today, I'm just drinking water because hydration is important. In reality, I should have some caffeine because I'm very tired. Which means I'm going to be rambling a lot in this episode. So just fair warning.
Great.
I apologize to everybody. It's gonna happen. It happens when I'm tired. So.
Sure.
Oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, Lana. I forgot. I do have a cute intro and I have a cute shirt.
Ooh.
So take that, David. We are wearing the only drag shirt I own at the current moment in time, which is Boom Turing. I love Turing.
Me too.
Love that. Well, I am Mama, your resident diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea per. And if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. And I'm drinking tea, actually, just regular sweet tea in my cup. But I'm almost done with it because I drank most of it before we started. So there we go. So I have no more almost. But if I had my hot popping tea, because you know I would always just put it in my cup, where you can get all your cup merch, the cup mug cup, the cup hat, and if you check out the website laundryscreation.etsy.com, we have some new cup merch.
Ooh.
We have cup socks.
I will be buying cup socks immediately.
And we have cup water bottles.
I need one of those.
Wait, shut up. I'm going there right now. This is not a planned bit. I'm very excited.
Don't get it yet.
Yeah, don't get it yet because I'm going to lower the prices because I didn't realize how much the price was.
Oh God!
Right, exactly.
Oh God!
So I'm going to adjust everything,
but there's free shipping.
It is free shipping. If that
will it still be free shipping?
Sure, you might
Probably
still.
Not. Probably not when I lower.
So you got to get socks with it, is
so
what you're saying.
And the cup for the free shipping.
Wait. Oh no. Wait. Oh, I don't know if I like the socks. It has nothing to do with you. It's just the way it was done. With the logo all over it.
Yes, because if I was going to get the logo, trust me, I tested out, I showed off the design.
Yeah, we love these socks, Logan.
Okay, great.
I'm happy the logo in just one spot, so drab. And so
see, I wear those kinds of socks where it's only the logo on one side. So I was anticipating. It's not that I dislike them. I think just in my mind, I was like, wait, I just want the logo on like each side of my calf. Like that's what I was envisioning. I do like them. I will still buy them, obviously, but
I like it when it's more because then people be like, "Oh, the cup, what's like that?" But
it looks like our YouTube banner because it's just the cup.
I'll make a different one. I'll make a different design where it's just the one.
Just for you.
No, you definitely don't have to. It's totally
because
okay.
some people might feel the same way that you feel. So
true. But also,
I'll change the design for it. I'm gonna still keep the other one, but I'll make a different design with just the one. But anyway, so there was that. We have more stuff, and I'm gonna continue to put more stuff. Our cup merch is going to continue to grow, so you can have all of your needs, and all of you want. So check out laundrycreations.etsy.com.
And I'm also here. I'm David Healy.
5 minutes into the David hasn't introduced himself.
Yes, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt, and this is one of my favorites. I am wearing one Manila Luzon. She's got a big ice cream cone here. So I think it's kind of funny. Logan and I are both wearing queens representing the Philippines.
Ow, that's so unplanned, and I love that.
Well, and I wanted to wear Manila because she has won a roast before.
That is true.
But I didn't really get roast from this, but we'll get to that.
Oh boy.
This wasn't supposed to be roast, but it
Oh,
kind of
maybe I misunderstood.
Okay. What was this supposed to be?
I don't know what this
Yeah.
was.
This was supposed. No, I know. This was supposed to be a carbon copy of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars Season 2, Episode 6, aka the highest rated episode of Drag Race ever. That is what this literally the entire episode, apart from one detail. Everything else was basically the same. Which I'm not like horribly mad at, but also like I wish it was a different idea. But
yeah,
whatever. So, yes, we are here. It is Drag Race España, Season 3, Episode 7, the comeback episode, where I have a lot of problems with it. Shocker. I have a lot of problems with this season. But we walk it back into the workroom. Visa has been eliminated, but only for a second. Don't worry. Don't worry. In case you were missing Visa for the 3 minutes that she wasn't in this episode, don't you worry, folks. She's right back.
But also, how long do you think they had them wait at the mirror, hoping Pitita would say something about Visa, a la Fifi and Alyssa?
Like an hour. I'm shocked.
Don't you have anything to say about Visa?
I'm shocked that Pitita, completely on her own, without being prompted by a producer, obviously. That is my favorite quote to use. Shout out to Darby Lynn Cartwright. I made sure I love them. But completely on her own, without being prompted by a producer, obviously. I was wishing that Pitita had said something and then just face crack. Because they do the All Stars 2 face crack. And you know, if we hadn't, there was no way to not show it in the preview for last week. So I was like, oh, I know the face crack is coming. Okay. And they were all like, oh my God, we're going to miss Visa so much. Because this season is just best friends race. For the most part, with pockets of drama that always include Pitita.
Right. Unfortunately.
Which I love.
I don't. I want it to be somebody I don't like. I want to be able to root against them, but I love me some Pitita.
I mean, I don't think Petita's been in the wrong in any of the arguments that have been had. Let's just be honest here. But I can also understand the other side of each argument that has been made against Pitita to an extent. So, yeah, they do the All Stars 2 face crack. They all walk back in the looks that they were eliminated in. Yeah, which means that Chanel had to put back on that horrible thing she made. And I only really felt bad for her. All of the other looks were like, oh, I was like, Maria's dress was cute, whatever. Chuchi looked fine. Chanel had to wear the awful thing she made. Kelly, Macarena happened. I'm mad that Macarena didn't walk back in the full headpiece. I was very upset about that. And then Visa obviously coming back, and then she's like, "The revenge is now," or something like that. And then they all walk back into the workroom the next day, a happy family, except drama.
Just a bit
drama. So the Pitita v Visa argument is still happening because don't worry, in case you missed Visa, you got one more full episode of Visa. So this argument was just, I'm gonna be honest, it felt like Visa trying to get screen time.
It did. And there was one point where I started to respect Visa when she said, and it's not your fault, Pitita, that they put you safe or in the top. But then she backtracked and still made it about Pitita being in the wrong. So I'm like, come on, chill, Visa.
And Lana has no thoughts.
She likes tea, but this isn't the tea she wanted.
This is actually very boring to me. I was very bored by all of this. Like, I think their drama is so. It
Oh
was so.
God,
It was so
don't
produced.
watch season 13 of US Drag Race then.
I won't. It was just so produced and so like I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. Like Visa was sassy, but trying to be sassy. So it was kind of like, and you, Miss Girl, and it just gave me that vibe. Like I'm coming to make a state. Like I want screen time. I need to be on TV, so I have to do something to make them want to put me on TV. And so I'm gonna pick a fight with Pitita of all the people in there.
With the judge's favorite.
Right. You pick a fight with the
Basically.
judge's favorite, and you pick a fight with the smallest person in the room. The smallest person.
No,
Like,
that's Pakita.
I mean,
Well-
Pakita and Pitita are both
I know what
super
you mean.
small. They're small people. But like you pick the person that's the quietest, the shyest, and you pick on them instead of picking on somebody who will come back at you and give you drunk. Like, I'm not impressed by that. I'm not impressed by that. So I thought this was very boring. And so I don't have a lot to say about this episode until we get to the runway. So you all continue to just talk. Go right ahead.
And I also got annoyed with Pink Chadora piping in. And there's something about Pink Chadora's face when she's going for Petita. It just like really upsets me. I'm like, stop it. Stop it. I really wanted to like Pink Chadora, but I just haven't been able to.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So Supreme walks back in, and we find out that obviously this is the comeback challenge. And we find out that it is a stand-up comedy challenge, which is literally the exact same challenge as the comeback episode on All Stars 2, episode 6, aka the most highly rated Drag Race episode ever. Here's what I have an issue with. Not every queen is a comedy queen. And thus, the queens that are not comedy queens are automatically put at a disadvantage in this kind of challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, on All Stars, the two people that won, I would not inherently consider either of them comedy queens. And there was a comedy queen who did not win the challenge on All Stars 2 and went home again.
Mm-hmm.
Was that produced? Probably. So I just feel like if you're going to do a comeback challenge like this, I just wish they had said, okay, you're going to be in duos. And I don't know how this would have worked with 13 queens. Let me make this very clear before I say this hypothetical. I think it would have just been a lot better had they said, okay, you're going to pair off. You're going to create a number as if you two were performing in a drag club together. It can be comedic, but it doesn't have to be. And that's where like you can get like a full list of like approved songs or something. Like and they don't even have to be expensive songs. Just like do this, come up with an idea, let the queens show off what they're best at. And based on that, choose the queen who did the best at what they're good at to return to the competition. That does have some complications because I'm going to point directly to the pairing, and we'll talk about the pairings in a sec, but I point directly to the pairing of Chanel and Hornella, where their drag styles are not similar at all. And so I genuinely have no clue what the two of them would have done.
Right.
And honestly, it probably would have ended up with Hornella in the bottom. Or make this a solo challenge and make this the talent show.
That's what I was about to say. This should have been the talent showcase. Or what they should have done or been doing is like all these queens were gone. This will be the comeback out. Let the talent showcase portion be the comeback queens. The comeback queens do the talent, and they'll figure, and you base your decision on them, whoever comes back. Let the queens who's in, let their runway look determine who's going to be in the bottom 3, and then 2 of y'all going home. Or do something else. But it needs to be, I think it needs to be either, if you're going to do the duo pair, I think that works too for talent. If you're going to do the duo pair, like whoever has the best runway, whoever has the best talent, we total those scores up, bam, we get a winner, or whatever. It just needs to be something else. It doesn't need to be comedy because everybody's not comedy.
I just thought of something. So the eliminated girls, they're the headliners at the talent show. The girls in the competition basically modify the Eurovision challenge to become an opening number for the talent show. And then do what that opening number plus the runway. That's how you judge them. It's 2 completely separate challenges, but that's kind of like, if you're going to do it as a solo, that's kind of how I envision it. But like, opening number plus runway determines who of the girls in the competition are going to be in the bottom. And the talent portion chooses who comes back.
I mean, that's true. I don't even see a problem with having you pick 2, you get in a duo and have to decide, come up with a performance of some kind, comedy, singing, dancing, lip sync, whatever. You just have to come up with something. And it doesn't matter if your drags are completely different. That's where you got to figure it out. That's part of the competition. Figure it out. Figure out what you can do to mesh your 2 styles to come up with something spectacular or something entertaining. And that's it. Like, take those 2 things and then, put it together, because it's not fair for people who, like, I don't consider myself a funny comedic person, comedy wise. I don't want to get on stage and have to do stand-up comedy. And I know I'm horrible at comedy. It's go always play in my mind, like, I can't do comedy, but you're basing this all on comedy. Everybody's not comedy. Some people are singers. Some people are dancers. Some people are whatever. But they already did that with the talent.
Some people are the Macarena.
Some people are the Macarena. Some people just do whatever. Some people are whatever they are. And they got to figure that out. I just think it's not fair to make everybody do comedy when that's not their style of drag.
I get what you all are saying, but I do think that you could kind of say the thing about each week of the drag race format. It's different themes that may not suit somebody. Somebody's got to go home, and it may not be fair for them. I couldn't do a ball, but they still got to go home, whatever. So that wasn't my biggest issue. I just don't want to see somebody be punished because they're paired with somebody who's been eliminated already. I want them to be 2 separate. Let somebody come back, and then just let that be the episode.
Sure.
I just didn't like how it all went together in this one. So, and honestly, like, I'll say that some people that I view as comedy queens really floundered in this episode, and some people that I did not expect to be funny were actually pretty funny. So you never know.
Yeah.
Oh, we will discuss it at length. But yes, so Supreme says that it's the talent show. They're going to be in duos. And we know that 1 queen will return to the competition. And then right off the bat, Supreme also lets everybody know that there will be a bottom 3 and 2 people are going home. Because that's how we have to do this logistically in order to get a 10-episode season.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Do I love it based on the outcome?
And that's partly why I was more okay with this in All Stars 2, because I didn't really like the queen that went home.
Because we really liked the queens that came back.
Yes.
Then they eliminated the villain of the season together.
Correct.
It was a whole story. It was a whole produced storyline. I still feel bad for Jeremy, but whatever. But yeah, so they let the eliminated girls pick their partner, and we start with the most recently eliminated queen, which is Visa. And Visa picks Pitita. I want to say that it wasn't out of malice. I don't think it was fully out of malice. Because if I'm looking at this strategically, if I'm eliminated, I'm going to pick the person that the judges love the most.
True.
Which is Pitita. So in that, I think it just added on that there was this underlying tension with Visa and Pitita that then gets continued when they're supposed to be doing the prep work for their comedy bit, and then ends up going nowhere because they are literally oil and water. Which I found entertaining, but also just like, I don't care. Their whole interaction, I was like, I couldn't tell you anything that either of them said directly. So
yeah, that's fair. I do also think that Visa probably picked Pitita for the storyline. Maybe she was finally putting on her producer hat. Not only am I going to pick the favorite, but I'm going to give them a good story, and it could be a good redemption story. I would like to think she was not purposefully trying to sabotage Pitita, because that would also be sabotaging herself, and that would make zero sense.
Wanted to return. I'm going to be really honest. Based on everything Visa did in this episode, I think they were just trying to make good TV and didn't want to return to the competition. I don't know that to be certain, but like, we'll talk about her performance and we'll talk about the runway, which they didn't even do a runway, but we'll talk about the performance look because questionable is all I have to say.
Okay, I'll say this. Visa didn't want to come back. That's my opinion. Visa did not want to come back. Visa picked Pitita to sabotage Pitita. You won't tell me otherwise. And because she knew she didn't want to come back, her comments in the workroom about how she has to become, get her citizenship to Spain because she's from Mexico. She understands. She really feels that she's being targeted because she's not from Spain, which we have talked about on this show.
And I would agree with.
Exactly. And so I feel like Visa was very much over this situation, very much over this contest, very much over the judges' comments and overlooking Visa. She just, and the way she went out, I think Visa was just over it. I don't think Visa wanted to come back. I think Visa was trying to sabotage Pitita and trying to get her to go. And I just feel like by the way she was talking, even the way the performance, everything, I don't think Visa wanted to. And I will be honest, I'll be transparent. During their conversation between Visa and Pitita, I fast forwarded because after like 5 minutes in, I was so over this conversation. I was like,
that's fair.
It's not.
It was frustrating.
It's literally going around in circles. You really are not trying. Why did you pick me? Because I wanted to pick the best. But your face is not saying that. Your face is saying, sure, I just picked you because it's just like Pitita didn't believe Visa. Visa didn't believe Pitita. It just got boring after a while. So I kind of like skipped past their conversation because they were talking about nothing, going around in circles. Visa, to me, now this is my personal, I don't believe Visa wanted to come back. I don't believe Visa wanted to do that. I think Visa was trying to sabotage Pitita. She was like, if I'm going out, I'm taking you out with me. And baby, she tried her best and almost succeeded.
Well, that's very frustrating if that's true. So, and I like Visa a lot. Like, she's been one of my favorites this season. So, in order to have some sort of cognitive dissonance and not really dislike Visa, I'm going to pretend that what I thought was true, that she was
I
just
don't-
trying to be
Please,
strategic.
please live in your French vanilla fantasy,
Yes.
David. Please. I'm happy.
I mean,
I'm
I
happy.
still like Visa. I thought Visa was a great queen. I still like her.
She's very
I think she was
talented.
a little. I think she was a little catty, and she took this loss very personally. But she's human. We all get in our feelings, and we all do some pretty petty things when we're in our feelings.
And I also want to remind us, and we're probably all thinking this as well. This was very fresh. This literally had just happened.
Yes.
Visa had no time in between being eliminated and coming back to think about things. I think had Visa been eliminated and then we had another elimination and then the comeback, I don't think Visa picks Pitita.
Right.
I think with some time to process, I think things would have been a bit calmer.
Yeah, I agree.
I also have to say, I don't blame Visa because I'm going to be real honest. I probably would do the same thing.
Petty.
Very. I am. I really am. Like, if I think someone's wronged me, and I think in this situation, Visa felt that way, it was misdirected.
Yes.
Very.
It was misdirected, but in their mind, they were wronged by this person. Again, misdirected. And so they're going to do whatever they can to sabotage them. I'm loving, David, that you are living in your French vanilla fantasy. Please do. We have to prep for the French vanilla fantasy that is Valentina hosting Drag Race Mexico.
Exactly.
So we have to prep for that half of the French vanilla fantasy. Anyway, so Visa picks Pitita. We then see Macarena pick Pinchadora, which I think is the second best option of the people there. First pick is the person who has 3 challenge wins out of 6 episodes. The second pick is the person with 2 challenge wins out of 6 episodes.
And a comedy queen.
Both of which were comedic wins. Right. So, like, I got that pick for sure. We then had, Kelly. And Kelly picks Vania, which they're friends. Understood.
Okay. That makes sense. I was a little surprised by that pick.
They are also the more seasoned queens. And when Kelly makes the comment that she does later, we'll talk about it. They've known each other for a while. I believe they work in like the same city or like close cities, something like that. So it made it. I was like, oh, duh. Kelly picks Vania, of course. Then we had, who was third? Chanel. And Chanel picks Hornella, which I think of the options left was correct.
I agree.
And then we're left with Bestiah, Pakita, and Clover. And Chuchi picks Bestiah.
It kind of makes sense based on what she had seen before she left. Because Bestiah was really doing well those first couple of episodes.
Bestiah had a challenge. She's the only person up there with a win. And the only person that hadn't been in the bottom. So pick the safe option. Absolutely. So then we have I still have the banner, Gone But Not Forgotten, first out queen, Vania Vainilla, who I have to say, I was so thrilled to see her in this episode. I didn't like her performance, and we'll talk about it. But I was so happy she was there.
And I was optimistic for her.
She's been in 3 episodes this season, and I'm thrilled for her. I'm happy she got her airtime. She picked Pakita over Clover. I think it could have gone either way. I think the way things ended up were great. Because then Clover is left by herself, and she ends up as the MC of the comedy show, which I did love that Clover ended up in that position, kind of like not having to rely on anybody else. She can do her own thing. And it worked.
But I was so nervous for her because I don't know that I've gotten a lot of comedy chops from her. So seeing that she had to rely on herself, I was like, come on, girl. I'm really hope you can pull it out, but I don't know.
And then, spoiler alert, She did.
She did. Very much so.
I would rather rely on myself. And if I go down, it's because I did it. I don't want to have to be like wondering if I failed because somebody else was horrible and they drug me down. I would rather be like, you know what? It is what it is. If I'm going down, it's because I know I didn't do what I needed to do. So I would rather be by myself than be
and to be fair, I think a lot of, and I don't want to directly speak for David, but I'm pretty sure we're going to agree on this. I was concerned half because we hadn't heard any real comedy chops from Clover. She did fine in Snatch Game, but not great. And in the acting challenge, she was in the bottom. So concern, part because of her comedic skills that she had shown, but also part because if you think back to All Stars 2, the MC of the challenge was in the bottom 2.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be seeing her soon.
I'm very excited for you to see Roxanne. I love Roxanne. Roxanne Andrews. So I was very concerned. And then as soon as she started, we'll talk about it, my fears went away very quickly. So there isn't really anything else to talk about because we've talked about everything else. So let's just talk about the challenge.
Let's do it. I am literally thinking about my single favorite moment from the challenge where we'll get to it, but it's just making me laugh thinking about it.
Okay, lovely. I'm gonna make us ever so slightly smaller so I can make this ever so slightly bigger. Boom. That felt fitting. Hey, I made a referential thing. David knows. Burn. Oh God, I love that challenge. Anyway, Reinas de la Comedia. And some of them were not funny.
A lot of them.
The guest judge, I didn't know who she was.
I never know who they are.
I've known like one of them. I knew Soraya.
I knew Choriza in season 2.
We knew Penelope Cruz's sister.
I didn't even know that.
I know. Hold on, I want to give her flowers because I actually thought she was lovely. Hold on. Eva Soriano is her name.
Okay. Irma? You said Irma?
Irma.
Yeah.
Irma, correct. Yeah, so she's a comedian and presenter.
Okay.
So that's fun. Oh, she's a theater kid. How fun. Oh, how fun. Okay, cool. Lovely. Thanks,
Lana
Google.
doesn't share your enthusiasm.
I know, but sometimes we get good guest judges and sometimes we get Maud Apatow. And yeah, anyway. Burn. Clover as the MC. I was so proud. She comes out immediately and she's like, well, this is sexism, basically. And I'm like, yeah! You better read all these men!
Not only that, she came out looking really cute. I really like that wig and the baby hair.
Oh, this outfit. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a very good presenter outfit, and then the hair, the wig for the comedy portion of it, it just gave. She looked great. Yeah, I'm digging the sleeves. I'm loving the sleeves on that dress.
Oh, the shoulder is epic.
That's
the shoulder. I think Clover did a really, really great job, and I was very, very happy with her performance in this challenge.
Yeah. I mean, from the very first joke, like you said, when she came out and was like, this is sexist and they all chose men over me, so whatever.
Exactly.
I was instead of talking about tits and my pussy, we're going to talk about dicks and balls.
Right.
I'm like, I mean, we quite literally did. We'll talk about it later. Yeah. And I think she knew that, which I think is why she left that in. I think she did a very, very good job. I was very impressed with it. there were a few jokes that didn't land.
I don't think anything directly flopped, but
Nothing
some
flopped.
things hit harder than others. Honestly, you could tell she improvised some things based on how the previous
Great.
act went.
Oh,
And
when
that
she came out, oh, who was it? She came out after
Visa and Pitita. And
okay,
she's like,
that's what I was going to talk about. Was my like favorite part of the challenge.
So good.
All she had to do was make a face, and I
thought that was
cracked up.
Chadora and Macarena.
No, that was Visa and Pitita. She came out and made that
Really?
face.
Because they closed.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Did they close?
They went in elimination order of the eliminated girls.
Oh, well, then it must have been Pitita. I mean, it must have been.
I thought it was Chadora and
Macarena.
Macarena because it was like mid-set, and she comes out. Yeah, because she comes out to introduce She comes out to introduce Visa and Pitita. That's what it is. And she's like, oof. And I'm just like, yeah. Yeah, I will agree. I don't think anything flopped. I definitely think there were stronger moments. And I thought there was one duo that didn't have a weak moment. And I think, honestly, plus a couple of other factors are the reason she didn't win the challenge. I really did think she did a great job.
Well, I have probably a different favorite duo than you do.
Oh.
Well, let's move along and find out who.
I do want to score these looks because for the eliminated girls, we don't get to see any of their looks. Like, they didn't do a look on the runway.
Fair.
So I do want to score all of the looks for everybody in the performance.
You just want to shade Visa.
I do. I absolutely do. Plus, they didn't get to show anything else other than the one look.
True.
I would have liked them to show their Peluca Palooza, but we didn't get that. So, in that case, Clover here, I'm going to give Clover a 90.
I would give her a 93.
I'll give her a 74. Sensibly.
Which, if you're new to this, is David scoring. We're all about on par. So first of the duos is first eliminated queen, our dear Maria Edilia, and Pakita. And I was confused.
Thank you. That's the exact word I had. I was confused as well.
Confusion. So their concept was that Pakita was Maria's daughter from the dunes. I think there were a lot of jokes that clearly landed with the judges that I just didn't get. There was the one about the Javis. And that joke seemed to make the Javis laugh. And so I'm like, okay, it's a joke specific to them. Cool. That's probably pretty funny.
Right. I think a lot of things I think kind of got lost in translation. Even some of the subtitles, I could tell they were going for one thing and then they would switch a word. So it didn't even seem consistent with the subtitles. And I also just think we don't really understand Spanish culture as well as we should. We're 3 Americans here, so we're doing our best. Please inform us in the comments.
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't get it a lot. I didn't think it was horrible. It was just confusing. I think, like you said, some of the jokes were meant to be for specific people on the panel and then specific things in the Spanish culture, which we just aren't getting, not understanding. But I don't know. I didn't totally hate them. I just was a little confused by them.
Sure.
Yeah. It was just question mark bubbles above my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't hate it. There were ones that I actively felt really uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about it. I also want to say I love that we are getting the final instance of blurring Pakita's female presenting nipples.
Right.
I was like, oh, good. We're blurring female presenting nipples again. Great. Yeah, I mean, there was no universe Maria was going to come back. But I was happy to see her, and she looked fine enough in her Mistress Isabel Brooks heels.
Right. And she was originally wearing this red outfit that...
Yeah, so she was wearing the red cape. And then she birthed Pakita. And then Pakita is now wearing the cape and a diaper.
Yes.
So that's different.
And very hard to score.
So, speaking of, I'm going to give the coat a 70.
Okay.
As the coat for both Maria and Pakita. I think Pakita's look is also going to be a 70. And I think Maria, I'm going to give an 80 because I think her wig is cute. The bodysuit is whatever. And I actually really liked the cape with the bodysuit for like the split second we got it on Maria. So that's where that's how I'm going to score this.
I'm very confused there. But okay, sure. For Maria.
So the coat itself got a 70. Pakita in the coat got a 70 as well. Maria in the coat got an 80.
Okay. I'm not going to do all that.
Right.
Maria, I'm just not going to do all that. Maria gets a 75 for her look. Period. Pakita gets a 65 for her look because it's a diaper and took the coat off of her and put it on. So actually, I will give Pakita a 50 for the diaper. It's a diaper.
Okay. I'm going to give Maria a score based on her wearing the red robe. And I'll go ahead and give her a 55. It was fine. And I'm going to give Pakita a score based on her diaper, which she was wearing most of the time. And I'm going to give her a 10.
Wow.
It was just a diaper.
It was a diaper.
But the ensemble.
It's just too much. It's too much.
But I love Pakita so much.
I do enjoy Pakita very much.
Same.
So next up is Bestiah and Chuchi, who decide to do this like real estate type thing about why you should come to Legares, which is where Bestiah is from, or why you should come to Comedia, which is where Chuchi's from. I thought this was fine.
I think Bestiah did most of the work.
Chuchi looked real pretty.
I'm about to say Chuchi was looking pretty.
She looked real pretty.
And Bestiah did most of the heavy lifting, and when it came to the speaking parts, but it was perfectly fine. It wasn't anything else.
Yeah, for me, this was the most uneven pairing.
Yeah.
I actually was very pleasantly surprised with Bestiah. If I was taking Clover out of the mix and judging individuals, Bestiah might have been my winner because I thought she was very funny.
I think Bestiah would have been up there for sure.
Yeah.
If we're doing it individually, yeah, I think Bestiah could have been up there for me.
I think Chuchi definitely disappeared. I could not tell you anything she did, which is unfortunate. This was not her challenge. She was never going to come back.
But she looks real pretty.
She does. Those canary queens always look good.
They do. I think this was just so like blah. Like I remember laughing, but I couldn't tell you what I laughed at. You know what I mean? Like there were jokes and they were funny in the moment when I watched the challenge. Mind you, I've watched the comedy challenge twice for reference. Just me personally. Yeah, I couldn't tell you what they said, but I remember laughing a few times and it was mostly at Bestiah. So like, sure. As far as looks are concerned, I'm gonna give Bestiah a 75. I actually really like the coat. I don't like the wig, but I like the coat. Chuchi, also a 75. It's cute. I like this little. I like the like lace overlay on the bodysuit with the big cutout. Fuck it, I'll give Chuchi an 80. I actually really like the cutout and the lace, so an 80.
I would give them both 70s because I do like the coat on Bestiah. Because that's the coat I would rock right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chuchi, I mean, it's all right. 70.
Yeah, I think Lana makes a good point that she would rock that coat now. That tells me this isn't really much of a drag look from Bestiah. This looks like a normal person look.
Well, sure.
So I'm going to hold that against her a little bit. I'll give her a 50, though. She still looks good, but not for Drag Race, I think. I do think Chuchi has a little bit of an edge on her because I'm actually getting drag queen out of this. So I'll give Chuchi, I'll give her a 57. This was not my idea to score these. Blame Logan if you don't like my scores.
Blame me for whatever. I don't care. You can literally say whatever you want about me, and I don't give a single fuck. Next up, we have Chanel and Hornella. I loved this.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think we have the same favorite. Maybe
No,
we do. We do? This is your favorite?
This was my favorite.
Okay, yeah, I thought they worked very well together. And I think if you're judging based on teams...
Surprisingly, and I don't know why.
Right. I didn't expect this from Chanel.
No.
But they had a really fun concept. They both looked adorable. They were very funny. Their interaction, and honestly, one of the most memorable moments was them calling the guest judge Irma.
This is the one I remember the most from. This is the one that I thought had the most inventive concept. And I think had things been judged fairly, I think Hornella could have gotten her first win. And I think Chanel could be back in the competition. And I would have been very thrilled with that. Because
I would have preferred that.
I think I would have preferred that as well. We'll talk about the Kelly of it all. I'm not mad. But like, I am a little mad. I really do think they should have won. Because if I'm thinking about, we'll talk about Kelly and Vania here in a second, but I think Chanel's performance was better than Kelly.
Yeah, I think it definitely
this was really, really strong. And again, like you said, I wasn't really expecting this out of Chanel. And Chanel is such an intriguing queen to me. Like, the most interesting queen for me coming out of this season, because every single thing she's done on Drag Race has been so different to anything else she showed.
Yep.
And I really enjoy that.
I agree. And like I said earlier, the people that I did not expect to do well in a comedy challenge did well. And those people I had in mind were Clover, Bestiah, and Chanel. They all really impressed me.
Yeah. Lana, what do you think?
I like this one. I thought this was one of the funnier ones. I enjoyed them. I understood where they were going with their jokes, even if I didn't understand, all the references. I knew what they were pretty much talking about. Context clues. I can read the context in between the lines to figure it out.
Calling Visa Tata Visa killed me. And then Grandma Supreme, I was like, I can't.
Right. I was just like, wow. I mean, and then like they roasted people, but it wasn't mean. It wasn't malicious.
Yeah,
it was funny. And that's about theirs was, above some of the others that we will talk about.
A simple concept, but done perfectly.
Done very well. Yes, done very well. Like two little girls writing down in their diaries or journals or making a list of what they wanted.
Or giant pieces of cardboard with letters on them. I want to know what it was because it's not a clipboard. It's just, I think, a piece of foam board.
But which is perfect because it looked like it could be a clipboard. It was
Absolutely.
I enjoyed it very much. I think that this was one of my favorites.
Oh, I just realized they have a C and an H.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's a
they
super
made
obvious
them
thing.
for this, which I
love.
Who had the blanket? That's just what I want. Who brought their blanket from the sequester house that they're in?
Maybe they just brought it from the house. Like it was a throw blanket that was at the house, and they just brought it.
Oh, most likely, yeah.
But I loved it. I kind of liked it. I think that was one of my favorite ones.
I mean, David and I both think they should have won.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been mad if they would have won. Like I kind of think they should have won.
Right.
Honestly.
Right. Like as I start talking about how much I enjoy it more, I'm like, no, they should have won.
I still think Clover should have won.
I mean,
but
yes.
Based on duos, I think they should have won.
I feel like
I think overall, I think they should have won.
I feel like it was unfair to put Clover in that category. Like if she didn't get picked, she should have automatically been safe, and she should have got like
that would have been great. Just as the MC of the evening, like nobody picked you. Guess what, Bish, you're safe. Like I would have loved that.
Right. And you still have a chance to win the whole thing if you outshine everybody else and get the $2,500, but you're not going home. Like it should have been an incentive for her. But like we said, they couldn't because they wanted somebody to come back. She was never going to win. Because
they didn't want Chanel to come back.
Right. But I think Chanel was in such a sweet spot. Like she wasn't too early out and unpredictable with how she would be coming back. But she also didn't last so long that we already knew what we would expect. I think she would have been a really fun person to come back.
I could not agree with you.
I agree. I would have loved to see her come back to see what she does because it's not what everybody expected. It's not the person who everybody was like, yeah, they're coming back. It would have been nice to see her come back and see what she does with her second chance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I was saying, I don't know if you heard Lana when you were off cam for a second, but like she's the one person that is the most intriguing for me because everything she did on her showing on this season was so wildly different. Mm-hmm. And I really do hope that they consider someone like her for a future Versus the World, Global All-Stars, España All-Stars, whatever it may be, because I really do think she could come back with a little bit more experience and absolutely dominate a competition.
Okay.
She could be the dark horse of Canada's Drag Race Crave Original, Canada Versus the World Season 3. Like, I really do think that. As far as the looks, I think I'm going to give them both an 80. They're fine.
Right.
But the look wasn't important. Well, the look was kind of important, actually, now that I say that. I love Chanel and the double pigtails. Hornella's wig I don't like as much, but they're both going to get an 80.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think I would give them an 8. I would give them an 80.
I was going to say 85. I'm going to change it to 85.
I was going to say 83. I think 83 or 84.
You like an 83. You like an 83.
I'm going to do a 83 because I feel like they look perfect for the characters that they were portraying. And if they would have done a full drag glam look, we would have like, that makes no sense for what you were trying to portray. So I think what they did was perfectly fine for the skit that they were doing.
Yeah, I agree. We're not looking for fashion here, so that doesn't matter. The scores really shouldn't matter on these, but I'll go ahead and give them a 54 for Chanel and a 46 for Hornella.
Work, Diva Hunty Mama. So next is Vania and Kelly. I do think they did a very good job. I think for me, like, I say this with no ill intent. I just think this concept has been overdone. And I do appreciate that it was done. And I appreciate what Kelly says later. But I just think making sex jokes is a little too basic for the main stage of Drag Race España. That's just me.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I mean, we had all the STD talk and it was fine. Like, honestly, they were like the most middle of the pack for me this episode. So, like, they should have been safe. And honestly, like, I would say Kelly did something that's kind of a pet peeve of mine, where she's talking to Vania and she keeps turning her head so far. So you're like just getting part of her face. I'm
Like I saw the back of her contour on her neck. I don't need to see that. Like, but God, everything they said was just so funny.
Yeah, it was a plan.
I just didn't. I wasn't as impressed as the judges were with them. I found, and it's starting to get very this way with me and Vania. I'm starting to like Vania a little less every week because Vanya's starting to really get on my nerves when it comes to, oh my God, like, you're horny. We get it. I understand. What else is there about you? Like, everything is about sex. Everything about you is about sex. There's nothing else that you talk about besides sex. And not just sex on the main stage. It's sex in the workroom. It's sex in your interviews. It's sex everything. And it's like, there's nothing more about you than sex the entire time. You're horny 24/7. And that's all you can talk about. I need more layers. And you're not giving me anything. And so I'm starting to just like be very bored with Vania because the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm not seeing anything different. And even this look, like, looking at this picture, that waist, that the belt.
It is a piece of fabric wrapped around her waist.
And it's just, it
makes
wig. Her look, it makes her look good weird at the top area. It's like a bulge sticking out the back. That's like a side hump. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just.
Oh, I think that's her tit, Lana.
No, her tits are in the front. The thing is in the
she's
back.
talking about under the armpit.
Yeah, it looks like a side hump. It's
just weird padding, hump. I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't
bad
good.
padding. It's just
good look.
It's just not a good look. I'm just bored with Vania and the sex talk. Like, I'm not a prude by any means of the imagination.
She's not. I can confirm.
But when you talk about sex all of the time, it's boring. And I'm very bored. Kelly, it was just, the performance was it was okay. It was, you talked about sex. Funny sex jokes. Ha. I guess. I was not impressed.
So what I'm learning is we should not take Lana to see Lady Bunny anytime soon.
Absolutely not.
I mean, I can deal with it.
Lady Bunny girl.
Look, if you take me to a show and whoever has to be performed and the performance is all sex, great.
Lady whoever.
And you perform and it's a whole set about sex, great. But I don't want to come back next week and the same set is still the same set. And then I come back next week and the same set is still the same set.
No, David, it's not Lady Bunny that we can't have her go see. It's Sherry Vine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one too. I saw Lady Bunny once and she literally did 20 minutes of song parodies and they were all just like super sexual.
That's quite literally what Sherry Vine does. That is Sherry Vine's like entire.
I guess it's of that era.
She did a Gloria Estefan mix, and it was all sexual parodies. And I look at Gloria Estefan songs differently now because of it. Yeah. As far as scores are concerned, I'm going to pull a David and give them both a 50.
They don't deserve a 50. Those looks are horrible. I will give them 10s across the board. 10s across the board.
Kelly looks great. I'm sorry.
That wig is a hot miss.
Yeah, if they switched wigs, Kelly would look better.
I disagree. I don't think Kelly's wig is that bad.
It's not bad. It's a little flat.
Her makeup is too harsh for that
That's
wig.
just how she paints.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look good with that look and that hair and that, like, it just looks.
Okay, that's fair.
She looks harsh. And we've seen Kelly look so much better. That's what I'm saying. I've seen her look better. Yes.
I wouldn't say so much better, but better.
When?
We've seen
Crickets.
her look better. With no
entrance look.
Her that jumpsuit with the I don't know, the black. What she came back in, I think.
Oh, are you talking? The one she was eliminated in?
I think so. Well,
yeah, because it was the My Worst Me.
Oh yeah.
And the wig was a straight blonde wig.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I prefer this.
I prefer that.
Okay. David.
I'll give Kelly a 47 and Vania a 37.
10s across the board. Oof.
So then we had to sit through the absolute disaster that was Chadora and the Macarena.
The team I expected to do the best.
The team that on paper should have done the best. This is the only team with 2 self-proclaimed comedy queens on the team. And yet I think it just came down to their comedic chemistry, and there was none.
No.
I genuinely think had both of them been with different people, I think they would have done fine.
It would be hard to do worse. By the way, I'm drinking water. I forgot to say that in my intro.
Well, thank you for introducing a set piece 1 hour and 2 minutes the episode, David. I really appreciate it. Oh, this was just bad.
Yeah. This is what I think. This is why I thought it was a roast, because they just were insulting each other and others, and I just didn't really. It felt mean spirited. It didn't feel like there were actual punchlines, and it was just kind of uncomfortable to watch, especially like when it would cut to the judges. It was just so clear that they were flopping, and I don't know if they saw their reactions. But I guess at that point, it probably would have been too late to do anything about it. I don't know.
I have nothing to say about this performance, honestly. It's just bad.
Well, it was sad.
Yeah.
We need Mr. Talented here so we can have crickets playing.
I know, right? Okay, here's where I bring in some positives. I'm going to rate the looks. Chadora's look, I actually really enjoy. I think it's a cute look. I like the picnic theme. I don't love all the ruffling that's happening in the front, but I don't dislike the look by any means of the imagination. I'm going to give Chadora a 90. I think it's campy, it's cute, it's what she does, allegedly. Despite winning 2 challenges based on comedic things. Anyway, the Macarena, I think this is the second best thing she wore on this season. And it's a 75. The color looks good on her. I like the wig. I like the interesting angular movements that are happening. I hate that the tight goes into the shoe and then you see the top of the shoe. I'm going to give her, I'm dropping it to a 70. I just saw that. 70 from my.
I mean, I guess it had nothing to do with a concept, so nothing conceptual about these looks. Chadora, she looks fine. It's kind of cute, I guess. I would give it a, I don't know, 65. It looks okay, I guess. And Macarena, I think I like it a little less, so 60.
Oh, wow. I think I'm higher on looks than Lana. That's rare. Yeah, I think these were pretty good looks. Probably the best looks for any pair, but yeah, it didn't really have to do with their actual challenge, which is fine. I mean, they probably just saw these looks and wanted to show them off one last time. So I'll give Pink Chadora a 71, and I'll give the Macarena a 66.
Party. And last up, Visa and Pitita. What the fuck is Visa wearing?
I don't know what either one of them are wearing, but okay.
She raided Mrs. Kasha Davis's closet.
Don't do Mrs. Kasha. I actually really love what Pitita's wearing.
Me too.
Shocker, I know. It gives me very Fran Drescher as the nanny.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of the first place my mind went. Meets Manila Luzon.
I'm also getting a little bit of Sasha Velour from this.
Oh, the color blocking?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Meets like a fabulous 90s businesswoman who owns 51% of the company.
Right.
But it was Casual Friday. I don't know. Like she could work for a rival agency of Meryl Streep in the Devil Wears Prada.
And she's also rivals with Cruella DeVille.
Oh my god, absolutely. No, she's her sister. Same
Oh,
way.
there we go.
There we go. My cup is full for Pitita. Let me make that very clear. Unfortunately, this was not a good performance. And I think
it was on purpose.
I think it was on purpose. I think what Pitita did and her reactionary improv was fine.
Was that improv?
I'm gonna assume. Or just her reactionary comedy to what Visa was, whatever the fuck Visa was spewing out of her mouth.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When I was watching this, I was pretty confused, and I was asking my roommate, "Is this planned?" For a second, it's almost like they had an idea just to show the judges their actual drama and lay it all out there, but make it as unfunny as possible. So I almost thought that this was just organically happening. They had something planned. They went out there and Visa was like, never mind. I'm going to sabotage you. I'm leaving right now because of all this drama we've had. And I was like, is this really happening right now?
I think that was the point. I think
it was planned, though.
I think that it was a plan to try to make you believe it was real. It was so like, we're going to do this performance, put out our drama, make people believe that we're imploding right before their very eyes, but that's the plan. But it was supposed to be funny, but it didn't come off funny at all. It just came off as what? It was very
desperate,
confused.
honestly.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing was they were trying to build up this blow up to make it seem like, oh, but we're good now. We talked it out in the workroom. But the difficulty here is the judges, presumably, have absolutely no clue that there was any sort of rivalry between Visa and Pitita in the previous episode when they eliminated Visa.
True. I'm sure they do know.
Does, because Supreme, I believe, is an executive producer on the show.
Right.
So Supreme probably had an idea, but I don't think any of the rest of the jury had an idea of that. Yeah, it just felt off. It felt a little desperate, which is very unfortunate. Yeah, I think Pitita would have done, again, I think similarly to Chadora and Macarena, I think Pitita would have done very well with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Pitita and Macarena together, honestly, I think would have been a very fun duo. Because I think their rivalry was a little bit less intense. And I think Chadora has the comedic timing, as we've seen, to sort of make they probably would have ended up with a concept similar to this. And I think Chadora's comedic timing would have made it work, whereas I just don't think Visa has that comedic timing to make it work. Because I think it was working on Pitita's end. And the downfall was ultimately Visa.
I just think the concept failed them both. I mean, if this was a cringe challenge, then my cup is full.
They won.
But based on a comedy my cup is broken and completely empty and dehydrated. This was as bad as it could possibly get. And I hate saying that because Pitita has been my favorite for several weeks now. She still is. I'm not holding this completely against her, but I just don't know how she thought this would work.
I think she knew that she needed to learn the lip sync song the moment Visa chose her. I think she probably figured she would be in the bottom 3 the moment Visa chose her. I really do. And thank God she knew the words.
Yeah.
So, as far as looks are concerned, as I have stated previously, Pitita will be getting a full cup. Visa. Lana, go ahead.
Pitita will get I will give Pitita a 60. I like it, but I don't hate it. So it's I like it though. It's all right. Visa, oof, baby, that's a 10.
That's generous, Lana.
Well, I guess I'm going to be very generous then, because Visa just gives me like a host of a drag show, which I don't know what that says about my local drag community. We have had 2 people on Drag Race though, so there's that. But I'll give Visa a 31, and then Pitita I'll give an 80.
Work, Diva. Hunty Mama. Well, that's the challenge. We now still have looks to look at. Thankfully, only 7 of them, actually. But la categoría es Peluca Palooza. Wig. Wig. In the words of Katy Perry, wig.
That's exactly what I was thinking of when you said that.
David, we are the same person. You have to.
I guess so.
With different opinions, but we are the same person. Because we have the same set of references to pull from, for the most part. Exactly. Honestly, is what it is. So, let's start with Bestiah. There's wigs.
There's a lot of wigs.
There's a lot of wigs.
It reminds me of a Muppet that's been in a tornado and then decided to become a wrestler. I don't even know what to think.
That's what I said. I was like, is this a Muppet wrestler? That was literally the reference that I came. I was like,
so Lana and I are also the same person.
Well, obviously, but I didn't get this at all. I mean, it has a lot of hair, which was the part of the challenge, but did I like it? Absolutely not. But it was a lot of hair. Sure.
Yeah. I don't hate it or love it.
That's kind of where I'm at. I think it's a really interesting use of hair. That's kind of, I think it's very different.
It's a lot of hair.
It's a lot, hair. And yet I find it interesting. I find it intriguing. It's very Bestiah.
True. She always thinks outside of the box.
I would not have expected Bestiah to do anything normal for this runway. And so for that, I do actually enjoy it. I think it's not a bad thing to look at. I think the difficulty for me is the actual wig that is on her head is just spikes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like my absolute favorite thing in the world. but I think it's an inventive way to interpret the category. So, balancing that all together, I'm going to be giving Bestiah an 80.
Are we waiting on me
Yes.
for a score?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, see, if you see I'm muted, David, you could have just went on and got your score.
I thought you
out the
were
way.
really pondering your score.
I did my job, Lana, because I noticed what was happening, and I was waiting for David to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna say,
Oh.
you're the host.
I didn't know you were
Start
muted. You're so
start talking. Don't wait on
your
me.
video's so small, so I couldn't tell.
Okay,
I just thought
I
you were
will-
like, I don't know what to give Bestiah.
No, I was actually muted, but I will give this look a I don't know, fifth. It's different and weird, but not horrible. So I will give it a 50.
I'll give it a 62 with a high range of variants where I could change my mind any day.
The most complex 62 you've ever given.
Yes. Give or take 30.
Clover Bish. Lavender needs to be her color yesterday. Like she looks so good in this color. I love the outfit. I knew Lana would love this because guess what? Purple. And guess what? Woman. And guess what Lana is? A purple woman.
I am a purple woman. Mm-hmm.
You make me feel like a purple woman. I get references to things I did not attend. Oh, Lord, what was that?
Purple rain, purple rain.
Yes.
All the purples. But yeah, Clover looked amazing. And I loved that she went for the man, female andronomy look, just like
the what?
The beard, the beard.
Andromedy?
You know what she was trying to say, androgyny.
Androgyny. I was about to say, what did I say? Andromedy?
It sounded like Andromedy or something. I mostly just couldn't hear you properly.
It probably was Andromedy because I probably was very androgynous. Androgyny, the look, all of that. I love that. She looked great. The boots looked great. The outfit was great. The hair coming down, cascading. Amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Lavender looks great on her. Her wig is really fun. It reminds me of like a moth, kind of. I like all the curves and the layers to her overcoat here. The boots are great. I actually am not loving the beard. I wish it was either bigger or not there at all. But I'm not going to hold that against her very much. She was at least trying to do something different. But yeah, I think this was successful. She keeps climbing up that hill for me.
Is she running up that hill?
She is.
Running up that mountain. It's full for Clover.
Yep, it's overflowing for me because I am a biased heifer, and that's what I'll be, and I don't care, and I will be very biased because nobody else on this show is for Clover, so I will be that girl.
I'm so sorry. I don't think I've ever given her a score under like 80.
I know, and you all are always making me look like I'm some sort of Clover hater with my scores. Yes. And I'm not. I really like this. This is an 85, which is a great score.
Oh, yay. That is a great score for David.
I will never, ever bash Clover Bish for the rest of
Well, unless she deserves it.
Unless she deserves it, but even then I'll be like...
Which even then, her worst runway of the season, I still don't think is a bad runway.
Right.
Because for me, her worst is the Eurovision one, and I still don't think that was a bad runway.
Was that the blue?
The blue fringe.
Yeah, I didn't think that was bad.
It just wasn't the most flattering on her body, but I still think it was good. It was better than Visa's that week. Hornella Gongora. This is what I expected from a wig category. This is very Yara Sofia coded. This is very horns. And that's about all. She looks like a horned hair slut, and I love it.
I love the hair piece, the head piece. I was like, okay, yes. Could I have done without the mention of the pussy hairs? Sure. I was very much like, didn't need that, but the headpiece was enough for me. I was perfectly fine with just that. And it still would have been like great. It's a good look. She looks amazing.
Yeah, I think this kind of wig is hard to pull off. I've seen a few different queens try to do something like this, and it often looks a little tangled or sloppy. But I do think like this is flowing the way it needs to flow. It's the biggest wig look we saw of the night. So I'm really loving the wig. The outfit's okay. I don't have much to critique about it. It's just not an exciting outfit. I mean, she had that coat on at first as well. I don't mind the pubic hair. I thought she's trying to go for comedy there. And
come on, pussy hair.
We've seen it before, but...
Well, and that's what makes it very Hornella, because I feel like if she had walked out without it, we would have been like, oh, this is cute. But with that, I'm like, oh, that...
I would have put, like, if she would have played all the way around and made the hair
if she had done a wig skirt and then revealed to a merkin, that would have been hilarious.
Not for Lana. We've already heard Lana talk about sex and how unfunny it is.
Well, maybe I want some pussy hair, okay?
Look, see, y'all gonna stop doing this to me. Y'all gonna stop doing this to me. Y'all gonna stop making me look like I don't know nothing about nothing. Anything that I say, y'all gonna stop doing this to me today, right now, because I said, if your whole thing is about sex all the time, 24/7, then it starts to get unfunny. Right. Hornella has not, and yeah, I don't think I have no problem with the pussy hair because it's a wig challenge is supposed to be there.
Can we clip that? Can we clip Lana saying, I have no problem with the pussy hair?
Oh, absolutely. This will be clipped. Don't you worry.
Because y'all not going to keep doing this to me today. Y'all always come to me. Oh, Lana don't know this. Lana don't know this. Just for reference, Lana, just because we know you don't know. Y'all going to stop doing that to me today, right now on this show.
To be fair, David and I have about 30 to 35 seasons of Drag Race knowledge under our belt. And so there are a lot of references.
And just say your reference and move on. You ain't got to keep pointing out that I don't know what y'all talking about, because that just make me look like I don't know nothing about nothing.
I was just
for reference, clear because you don't know and you don't understand and you don't get it. I get it. I understand. And sometimes
I wasn't saying you don't get anything. You're fine. And I do want to compliment you because I just noticed this. The combination of your shirt and your background really fits in well with our background that we have going on right now.
Well,
doesn't it?
I can tell that this has been something that has been festering up in Lana's brain for weeks now. And I'm happy that it has been released onto the world, Lana. And I know that you are a very intelligent woman with a lot to offer this podcast. So
I'm just saying, it has been something that has been on my mind. I'm like, I get it. I am not the most affluent drag connoisseur, and I don't know every single reference to every single drag queen that comes across these screens, but you ain't got to point it out. Just say your reference, laugh about it, keep it pushing. But okay, we're good now. Whew, I feel so much better. Relax, relate, release.
So with all of that being said, I'm going to give Hornella and her pussy hair a 75.
And I will give Hornella and her pussy hair a 70. Thank you.
I'll give her a 77.
Look at wow.
Yeah, I really like the wig.
I like the wig.
The wig or the pussy wig?
the top wig.
Great.
Work. I just had to clarify.
We have to talk about it. Have to figure it out. Which one?
Pussy wig, Dottie. I had to make a reference. It was right there. Anyway, Pakita, I don't like this, unfortunately.
Not a fan. It looks matted. It looks ratted. It looks.
This is a runway concept that can go away now. We've seen it a few times across Drag Race, and it has never been done well. So
I would not say that.
Who did it well?
I think it was done well in Drag Race France. With I am looking at you. Said it too fast, and I couldn't look up her name in time.
Was it Soa?
Yeah. Soa Demuse.
Did this exact kind of look?
She did. I think. Am I crazy?
No, I thought she did a braided look.
Yeah, it was like braided hair.
Oh no, or am I thinking of Baby?
Yeah, I think you might be thinking of Babies, which wasn't as good on Drag Race UK.
No, but that's a different concept. Like we've seen this almost
Like,
exact thing.
Okay, here's what I'm talking about. I know this is hard to see. Do you see that?
Oh, then yes, she did it the best. She's the only one to do it.
She killed it.
Thank you for reminding me of that. I was thinking of that whole look as braided. That like all the strands were braided. That's what I was thinking of, and that's why I didn't think of her immediately. But you are.
I see. Yep.
Soa is the only person to do this well. This I don't like from Pakita.
Yep. And I love Soa.
I love Soa.
Yeah.
Lana would love Soa.
Oh yeah, you would. I think my problem is like she had this kind of clear plastic thing holding everything in place, but it was so noticeable, so it was kind of losing the illusion that she was just wearing hair. And some of the hair in the lower area looked it looked like she got it from the drain of the bathtub. It was a little ratty and wet. And I know that Pakita is capable of much better than this. So I think she just kind of failed with this concept, unfortunately.
I needed more hair. It's just, I don't know. The placement of the hair is it's just off. I don't particularly care for it. But I love Pakita, so it's always a.
But I love Pakita.
But I love Pakita.
Me too. She's definitely one of my favorite people from this season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't plead.
No,
I'm not.
Because I think her face looks great and her legs look marvelous. Therefore, I'm gonna give her. I'm gonna give it like a 30.
Yeah, I was thinking like a 25.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at it more, I kind of like what she's got going with the hair wrapped around her arms and just going behind her, kind of like a hair boa.
I think the hair boa is the most successful part of the look.
Yes.
Sure.
Other than obviously her makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes.
Let me give her a 33. 34.
Wow, David giving a
34.
Wow. Gag. Pinchadora.
I wasn't mad at this look.
I'm not mad at it. It's not my absolute favorite.
No,
but like,
it's not, it's not the something I'm like, oh, so great.
If I saw this in a club, girl, I'd be like, yes, diva, and I'd tip her a few dollars for sure.
Her wig is everything to me.
The wig is great. And if the point is the wig is phenomenal.
The wig is phenomenal. Right. I think I would have loved her to do. Yeah, it was smoking. Which I'm like, yes. But since the wig was the whole thing, I feel like if she would just gave me a little bit more with the outfit, a little bit more, something else, then this would be a more successful look. But the purpose was the wig, and the wig is wigging.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool that she had, is it like a heart shape
Yes.
in the wig?
Yes.
Like that seems like it would be hard to pull off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little bit of Princess Disaster,
But like,
but good.
but correct.
But correct. Not
Correct.
All Stars 3 Princess Disaster.
No.
But definitely not season 9. Yeah, it's not bad. It's probably one of her better looks, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not mad at this look, honestly.
83. I'm gonna pull Lana. 83.
I will say 85 because I'm not mad at the look, and the wig is wigging.
I'll say 76.
Work.
Work.
Leave a hunting more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Petita. Well, if the point is the wig is great. And guess what? Shocker, y'all. I love the wig.
Mm-hmm.
And shocker, the look is great too, in my personal opinion. Do you not like this wig, Lana?
I mean,
Really?
It's big. It's Afro-y. It's wigging.
Diana Ross.
It's very Diana Ross.
It's just a big Afro wig, and it's like, sure, okay, great. I don't think it goes with this dress. I don't like the dress with the hair.
I do agree. I think because I think this is fine together. I'm just not a huge fan of pink and orange together usually. So what I would have done is I either would have made the garment green or I would have made the wig black.
I mean, I feel like this look, because I know how some people say a bodysuit is lazy and, needs to be more than just but I feel like this hair needs like a sequence disco ball jumpsuit with some killer boots, either a disco ball type like shirt with short hot pants or long, or hot pants or hot. It just gives me 70s glamour fashion Easter with the big. It's screaming disco, and I'm getting this pink dress, and it's just not giving what I want. I don't know.
But there's different kinds of disco too. Like this is giving me man, why can't I think of the name of the song? Where the cake's in the rain?
MacArthur Park.
Before it gets upbeat. We're at the
Donna
slow
Summer.
part.
Donna Summer.
Yes, we're doing Donna Summer. Slow part, we got the gown on, but we're about to pick up the beat, and then she's gonna reveal into something that she can dance.
Never have that
That's a beat.
It's the closest thing I can find to the fucking bracelet that Delta had.
And honestly, the hair is kind of giving me like, what if in The Wiz, Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion had a child? What would their hair look like? You have Diana Ross mixed with a mane. And then what I really like about the dress is that you are getting like parts that are shiny and then parts that are more shaded. And if you look in there, you see the same colors that are in her wig. So it actually matches pretty well. And you cannot look at this and not see drag. Like this is all screaming drag to me. Everything's big, everything's elevated, and it is baffling to me that person that we see in the confessionals is able to transform to this. Like it's one of the craziest transformations of any drag queen is Pitita from confessional to the main stage. I don't get it. I'm so impressed by it. So I actually really like this. The more I look at it, I'm kind of falling in love with this. So
I agree with you when it comes to transformations. I think Pitita has done the best transformations every week. Like
mhm.
every week we see a different Pitita from confessionals to the runway, and that's a great testament to her as a drag queen. She knows what she's doing. She knows, and like I said, I don't hate it. I just wish it was something else. And you're talking about the disco queen and other parts, the gown part, which
she's the ballad part of
she's the
disco before
ballad
it picks
part
up.
of the disco era, which I'll concede to that and say I can see that. I still want. I mean, the hair is just big. It's just a big hair, which is great drag. I feel like she's the most drag out of all of these people. I just wish it was something else. Like, I don't know. But it's not horrible. It's not bad. It's not great. For me, it's not great, but it's not bad.
I'll give her an 80.
I would give her an 82, actually.
I'm going to give her an 88.
I will do that.
Either Lana and I are some bitches today, or Dave is generous. I don't
No,
know.
I really talked myself up on this. This was higher than I thought I was going to give.
I'm going to amend my score. I'm going to pull another Lana and give this an 83 as well.
Okay. Lana, do I hear an 84?
Nope.
And last up, Vania Vainilla.
Yeah,
doing the sort of braided concept.
This is more like what Baby did.
Yeah, this is more like the braided outfits that, we've seen a lot on Drag Race, typically from Black queens.
Mm-hmm.
But it's on Vania today. I think the garment is fine. I think the wig is a good wig. I don't think it's styled very well, if I'm being honest. And I hate the red accessories. I don't get red. I don't know why it's red. I don't like that it's red. And I couldn't tell you why.
Those are some kinky boots.
A cheaper version, absolutely.
The boots, I can't complain about the boots.
I really don't like these boots.
Okay.
I can't tell you why. I cannot tell. I wish I could tell you why. I don't like them.
Lana, break this tie.
I don't mind the boots. I don't mind the red accessories.
Great.
I don't mind. I don't mind the red accessories. What is vexing me to my spirit and my soul is that I wish her hair on the wig matched the hair on the dress, because that would have made it flow so much better, and it would have looked like, okay, yes, this whole suit is an extension from head to toe. Like, I don't like the brown hair and then this bleach blonde wig on your head. Like, bring it down, tone it down, let the hair match the outfit.
Let the carpet match the drapes.
The drapes, exactly. Like, it should definitely match, because then when she pulls the hair up over her shoulders, it just blends right in, like it was supposed to be there, like it's supposed to go there. Like, I planned this. This looks like you bought this outfit and then couldn't find a wig to match that, which I'm not gonna believe that. It's just, that's the only thing that's bothering me. I don't mind the red accessories, don't mind the boots.
Yeah,
I just don't like that the hair don't match.
I get what you're saying. If I didn't know the theme, I don't know that I would know this was supposed to be about hair. I might think that middle part is actually rope. I'm getting more rope.
I would honestly, if I didn't know the category, I would probably say signature drag. If I'm being honest, like that's just kind of like a lot of the signature drag looks that we get from people. Yeah, I mean, I think this is the best her face has looked. I really like her makeup here.
Yep.
It's a 50.
I would give it a 55 because it's not a bad look. It's just, you know what? Would have made it better if the wig was actually the same color and it was braided. Like
Yes.
braid the wig as well.
I
Give me
think
more
there's some
braid.
braids in there.
It is.
It's
It's parts in the
partially
front.
braided, but
Okay.
it's like a loose braid.
Right. It should have been more braid, but I also feel like that'll go into cultural appropriation too far.
And
if
I'm
you
pretty
continue
sure
that.
that's why she didn't.
And I
Maybe.
understand that too. But
And
That's
I
right.
appreciate that.
She
I
compared
appreciate
herself to Christina Aguilera, which in my
Right.
household, no, you know Christina Aguilera because we
Yeah.
love Christina here.
Yes.
But
Wow. I love her.
I love
but
Christina.
I actually don't mind this too much for the category. No, it doesn't work completely, but I do like the red boots, and I think she looks fine. She looks pretty good actually. So I'll give her a 64.
Work. Diva Hunting Muma. And that is all.
Oh, wow.
We
So
did it.
we did it. We find out that the top 3 pairs of the week are Chanel and Hornella, Kelly and Vania, or the top 3 and Clover. Clover and Clover. Clover and Bish, if you will. I don't remember. Nothing major happened in Untucked, right?
Not really.
Not that I can remember.
We'll just move on, and if we remember something, we'll bring it up next week. Because we've been here already for almost an hour and 45 minutes. Shocker with the 3 of us. But we find out that the winner of this week's challenge is Vania, meaning that Kelly Roller is back in the competition. Now, let me say this. I am not inherently mad that Kelly is back in the competition. I think her and Vania did a perfectly fine job, and I think they deserved their high placement. And I think Kelly is someone that I am not upset is back in the competition. This feels, and David, I don't know if you will agree with me, it feels like the Trixie Mattel effect from season 7. It feels like they eliminated her just to bring her back because they knew they had this twist.
They were scared of who she was going to be in Snatch Game.
Perhaps.
Maybe. She's just like, I drafted Kelly in my draft I did with my roommate and my friend.
I forgot we did a draft on this channel.
I wasn't involved in that one, so I don't know how that's going.
You weren't on the channel at that point.
But Kelly, to me, she's just been such a filler queen. And I think she does have potential. Like, she's talented. I would have put her in the top that first week. I know, very divisive because people thought it was such a taboo that she broke some of the lights, or fell off the stage. But I don't know. She just doesn't feel like she has anything to offer. And we have to ask ourselves, is it worth it bringing Kelly back to trade out 2 of our original top 6?
For the judges, yes.
In fact, we almost lost.
We will discuss it at length.
We almost lost 5 of our wins.
Oh, we will discuss it at length, David. Don't you worry. Don't you worry at all.
Okay.
Lana.
I see, this is the thing. I may not know all there is to know about Drag Race and how they produce their shows and how they run their thing. But I do know production riggery when I see it. And the fact that when Kelly Roller was eliminated and all the judges was done, they're passing out crying because, oh my God, we're about to lose Kelly Roller. I knew then that this second chance thing was only to bring her back. And once she was gone, I was like, she's coming back. it didn't matter who left after her, she was coming back. And I I honestly don't get the whole Kelly Roller bit. I don't understand her drag. I don't care for her drag. I feel like she's very, very mediocre with roller skates on. She never has impressed me on this show where I'm like, oh, she deserves to be back here or she deserves to be here. I just felt like she was just there. Did you call her a filler queen, David?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the perfect description for me for her. I feel like she's somebody who they just like and they wanted her on the show. So I'm like, if you wanted her on the show, why did you eliminate her in the first place? Well, because they didn't have a reason not to eliminate her because she wasn't giving anything that deserves to stay. But you bring her back for this performance to get rid of two queens who actually been doing something and they had a bad night, but two queens go home who actually had wins under their belts, who were actually performing and giving us stuff to send two people home to bring one person back. I don't think her performance was of that required her to come back. I feel like right then is when we start nitpicking and pulling people separately. Like Vania did great, Kelly did all right. Vania won, but was Kelly the best out of all the eliminated queens? I think
No.
not, because that's Chanel to me.
That's Chanel.
Mm-hmm.
So they should have literally been like, Kelly, you were good, but Chanel was better. You can't
Honestly,
come back.
I would have given the win to Hornella and Chanel.
100%.
As much as I think Vania did good, I think Kelly did fine, and I think Clover did really well. And I think this could have been an opportunity for them to give Clover a win. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. And again, I'm going to say in an episode of Drag Race España, as much as I don't want it, I hope Clover goes home next week so she does not have to deal with the mistreatment that she's getting on this season.
At least she was not in the bottom or safe. They
And
gave
if
her
she was in the bottom, I would have screamed.
Yeah, if she would have been at the bottom, I would have told you I'm not watching the show anymore.
But I would have understood it, and we might have stopped our review. I'm going to be real honest. I think the difficulty here is Clover is now falling into the Drag Race trap of they're going to edge the fuck out of her, getting her so close to winning when, quite frankly, she could have 2 wins right now, and I would have justified that 100%. She could have won this, and she should have won the Europe.
Pakita. I feel like they did that with Pakita. They edged her. There were 3 challenges that she could have won, I thought.
I do agree with Pakita as well. I think Pakita could have definitely won a few challenges. I don't think Pitita should have 3 wins, if I'm being honest. I'm not mad that she does by any means of the imagination, but Pakita should have that improv challenge win that Pitita has.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. But I think looking at this challenge, I think Chanel should have been the returning queen.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Kelly Roller is friends with Supreme. I think that's honest to God what it has ended up being. So be it. I hope Kelly impresses me in the rest of this season. And if she does, I will give her her flowers. Mm-hmm. But right now, nothing much has impressed me from Kelly Roller.
No. And I think the problem with giving Clover the win is they take control out of their hands and they give it to Clover.
So I do want to ask the question of the two of you. If Clover won, who do you think Clover brings back?
I have an idea.
I also have an idea.
I want to hear Lana's first.
I don't. No, I want to hear y'all's.
Okay.
I don't, honestly, no.
Well, at the beginning of the episode, we heard Clover talking about how sad she was to see Visa go. It seemed like they really got along. I think they were probably 2 of the more different people in the group. So I
True.
really think she probably would have chosen her friend and brought Visa back in.
I absolutely agree.
And that is why she didn't win. I
Yeah.
think they knew that too.
I don't think there was any scenario. I think even if Clover was the absolute best, which I think she was the second best in this challenge, I think Chanel and Hornella as a duo were the best, and I think Clover was second place. I think even if Clover had been the best in this challenge by a country mile, there's no universe where they would have given her the win unless, and this is shady, but unless production paid her off to pick who they wanted her to.
Or unless she had mentioned Kelly was somebody who she wanted to see come back.
Exactly. It was. I don't see a universe where I think Chanel probably, or I think Clover picks Visa. I think her second pick, honestly, I think could have been Maria. Just to give, I think Clover is the kind of person that would say, hey, you didn't get a whole lot of screen time on this season. Welcome back. It would have been very Bendela bringing back Morgan, but in a different way.
Right.
That's kind of, I think Maria could have been someone that she would have considered. But again, we haven't seen enough of Clover interacting in the workroom to really genuinely know who she likes and who she was friends with. So I don't know. But Kelly's back. Like I said, I hope Kelly impresses me.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm trying to think. We had anybody just come back and do kind of a 180 and just really nail it after being eliminated?
Art Simone.
But even Art, like,
that's exactly. That's kind of like Trixie did well in one episode and then shouldn't have gone home the episode she did, but they sent her home.
Right. We saw Latrice get a win at least.
Latrice got a win, but the worst possible edit. And then she was in the bottom the rest of the time she was there. Naisha went right back out the door an episode later after she was brought back. Yeah, I think the best example is Art Simone.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely not a one-to-one comparison.
Oh, no. Kana Warrior and Candy Cyanide.
Oh, yes, there we go. Perfect.
But that was
but
Tyler,
I thought they were already doing well.
They were already doing well. That's the issue, David. We have to cover Thailand immediately. I'm so sorry.
I love Thailand.
Anyway.
But I think the closest thing I can think of, which absolutely is not a great comparison because this person was not eliminated, but had a bit of a break because of a pandemic. But Bimini had a long break because all of the queens took a break in season 2 of Drag Race UK, and she came back and she was killing it.
Yeah,
she did a 180 for me.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that example. I mean, in one filming session though, I would probably say Art, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So yes, Vania and Kelly win. Clover is high. Hornella and Chanel are high for what it's worth. Bestiah is safe. And if your name starts with a P, you're in the bottom 3 this week.
3 Ps.
I love that it just so happened to be the 3 of them. So Pitita, Pakita, and Chadora are all in the bottom 3. And they lip sync to No Controles by Ole Ole.
You know, I didn't know that song, but I liked it when I heard it.
Cute song.
I was like, oh.
A little repetitive to be a lip sync song, I'll be honest, but it seems like a classic in Spain. So cool.
I had a clear ranking.
I also have a clear ranking.
Lana, do you have a clear ranking?
I have a clear ranking, yes.
Okay. My last place was Pink Chadora. She just didn't do it for me.
Yeah,
100%.
And I do think the right person won the lip sync. I think it was Pitita.
There's a reason I put them in this order.
Oh, there we go.
Because I think this is the correct order. I think Pakita did great honestly. I think she did well. She knew the words. She was sexy. She looked good. She had just been in the bottom a few too many times, in my personal opinion, to overcome 3 wins. I would also like to point out, I think this is the least rigged bottom situation I've ever seen on Drag Race, because they literally put 2 people who have 5 of the combined 7 wins of this
6
season.
at the time.
Well, no, Vania had just won.
She had just won this episode, but so obviously she couldn't be in the bottom.
Well, okay, whatever, logistics. 5 of these 6 wins up until this moment in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, there is a possibility that we are going to lose everyone with a challenge win up until this point, except for Bestiah.
Right.
And I was just like, I didn't want to see Pitita go home, but had Pitita gone home, it just would have been the biggest fucking gag. And I maybe would have lived for it. Honestly.
I would not. I would not.
I would have. It would have been so crazy because it would have been backstage like, aha! I did it.
Visa as Dax with the thing. It's like,
Visa be like living on the moon if Pitita would have. I agree with David. I wouldn't have loved it, but for the gaggery of it all,
I wouldn't have loved it, but I would have just laughed. I would have laughed so hard.
Right.
Just like, who's the front runner now?
Right. Who knows? Anybody, because you just got rid of Pakita and Chadora, who both have won the most.
5 of 6 episodes.
It's just crazy. So yeah, if Pitita would have left, it would have been gag. I would have been like,
But yeah, I don't think there was, and I do agree. I think Pitita was the best in the lip sync.
Yeah.
Thank God she can lip sync well.
Thank you. And she kept telling Visa, but Visa didn't believe.
And guess what, Visa? She didn't go home. I felt kind of bad for Pakita in this moment, because she was kind of like, well, yes, this is the rules of the competition, and that's what it is. And I was like, oh, she probably knew she was doomed from the moment she got picked by Maria, didn't she?
Yeah.
And she kind of had an awkward exit too.
She was like, really awkward exit, and then
Pink,
Chadora
let's
was
sing.
like, hold on, I'm taking my moment. She fully almost did the silky finger, like, hi, I need a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Pakita and Chadora are gone. The correct outcome of the bottom.
True.
Kind of unfortunately. I mean,
it is unfortunate.
I'm sad to lose Pakita, but I do think it was the moment for Pakita to go home.
She was losing momentum for sure, which is unfortunate.
She was on that downward spiral of lip syncing a couple times. This was her 3rd lip sync.
Right.
I think
it's like her and Clover have just kind of
it's opposite. Who's in the bottom, Pakita or Clover? I would have loved to see them both in the bottom, because I think it would have been a great lip sync.
The only reason I'm kind of happy with how this is going this season is that we aren't getting what we got in season 1 and 2. Season 1 and 2, we had very clear front runners who just never went unchallenged. They went unchallenged. And we don't have that. I mean, we could have had that with Pitita. We could have potentially had that with Pink Chadora, but they were both in the bottom. Pitita is safe, but she has not gone completely unscathed in this season. So we're not going to have a march to the end, which is great. I want to have a little more suspense.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is the first season of España where I'm like, there's a bunch of people that could still win. I think there's someone who could hypothetically win who doesn't have a challenge win right now.
Hornella?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think Hornella has been, I want to look at her. Is her track record just high? No, it's not as good as I thought it was, actually. High, safe, high, safe.
Yeah.
Oh, they counted her as safe this episode. That's stupid. She should have been high. Well,
Yeah, I think she technically was. They had a top 3, not a top 3
Yes.
teams.
They made it very clear that Bestiah was safe.
Yes.
So for me, it's high, safe, high, high, high.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I love Pitita's track record now because it's safe, win, safe, win, bottom. Oh, poor Clover. It's even worse. Safe, high, low, bottom, safe, bottom, high.
Oh, it's kind of all over the place.
A little bit. And guess what, y'all? If you weren't sick of comedy challenges, guess what? It's another comedy challenge next week. What the fuck?
Great.
So we all know who's going home.
Well, do we?
Based on previous comedic chops, overall, probably Clover.
Well,
I don't see them taking Clover any further than this, if I'm being 100% honest.
That's fair, but I think all 6 of these have had highs with comedy. I was about to say highs and lows, but I don't really think Hornella and Vania...
Hornella has not been low.
Not with comedy.
Hornella has not been low, period.
Has Vania been low with comedy?
She sent Chuchi home.
But was that during a comedy challenge?
No, that was the Eurovision challenge.
Right. Yeah, I mean specifically with comedy.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I think everybody left has had a good comedic moment.
Yep. Just
so
not
unfortunately,
consistently.
I think it is going to come down to who do the producers want to keep? Not Clover, apparently.
But really, I don't think Kelly's had a great comedic moment.
I thought this episode was fine.
It was fine, not great.
I mean, I would love for if they're going to play Clover shady like they usually do. Let's have Clover beat Kelly again and send her out again.
I know. Revolving door. Let's do it.
I would scream.
Let's have them in the bottom and Clover just kills her in the lip sync and sends her packing.
Yeah, because I mean, unfortunately, based on the perception that we have of the judges and their opinions on the group, I don't really see it at this point. I don't see a top 5 that's not Vania, Kelly, Bestiah, Hornella, Pitita. And that's just really unfortunate because I think Clover should have 2 wins, maybe. Should have at least a win.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm just losing people that I'm excited about. There's 2 people right now that I'm excited about, and that's
Pitita?
Clover and Pitita. I still really like Bestiah. I don't think she's been at the level she started at.
No, she's had that kind of track record that we see a lot on All Stars, where you win the first challenge and then you're kind of just middling all the way through.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she's had a standout moment since the talent show, honestly. And I mean, good for her. It's gotten her to top 6, but like, where do we go from here? Like, I see it. I don't know if I see her in the top 4 at this point. And presumably we only have 2 more eliminations. So if the next 2 eliminations were Clover and Bestiah, I would not be surprised. Let's just say that. If it was Clover and Kelly, would not be surprised.
It just feels like España never really lets the creatives get to the end.
They really never do.
I'm really hoping Bestiah can break that trend because, I mean, we had like our Onyx, our Ugasio leave way too early.
It was in 6th place. So
oh really?
Yep, both of them were. I believe both of them were 6th, and we already had. We do have 6th coming up. Oh fuck. Well, we have 2 creatives this season, I would say, because we have Bestiah, and then I would put Petita in that category. So
true,
at least
it's a different kind of creative.
Double the shot of a creative making it far.
True.
Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. It's been 2 hours. Shocker. That's just the new normal for us, I guess. But thank you for joining us for yet another episode of Drag Race España. Lana is over it, and I love it. Make sure to subscribe. You're on YouTube, so do the YouTube things because you're on YouTube. You know how to do them, so do them. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at the new Twitter that we have because we changed it. because we're more than just reality now. So follow us at The Cup Pod on Twitter. Potentially by the time this goes up, also follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Those are both coming very soon. I'm learning how to make reels and TikTok videos out of the things we record here, which has been very fun and also very confusing. So make sure to follow us on there. Follow all of us individually because we're cool. Those things. Merch link will be below with more merch coming. My mug is in the dishwasher currently. So make sure to do all the things, buy the things, support us, tell your friends. And I happen to have my pancake mug sitting next to me. So guess what? Cheers.
Adios.
Bye.
Adios. They're really
Adios.
probably going to send Clover home next week, aren't they?
No.
I'm not speaking that into existence.
No.